Welcome to the Pack Edge, unpacking cutting-edge trends in packaging and processing. Another graduation season has just wrapped up, which means young adults all across the U.S. are taking their next steps with their education, their careers, and their future. For many, this means a 4-year university experience, but with today's hot job market and rising wages, graduates are increasingly looking at other options, and manufacturing is often overlooked. It's no secret that manufacturing across the country has tons of job openings, so these conditions are perfect for manufacturing companies to make strides with building their workforce. Oftentimes, young adults just aren't aware of the doors that an education in a manufacturing discipline can open to pave the way for a really bright future. We're here today with Stefan Gerard and Brian Griffin from PMMI, the Association for Packaging and Processing Technologies, to talk about getting young adults interested in a career in manufacturing. Stefan, Brian, thanks for joining us today. And I'd like to start by asking, when should manufacturers be connecting with potential recruits?
So I would say definitely high school, if not middle school. One of the challenges that we've seen is once students get to the point where they're about to enter college, decisions have already been made. So it's important to really raise awareness about opportunities within manufacturing while they're still in their formative years and haven't made those types of decisions yet. And I think it's also really important to reach out to kids who already have an interest in STEM, because they're really at this point a little bit like the low-hanging fruit from the standpoint of they already have an interest in technology, and this is an avenue for them to basically follow those interests.
Mm-hmm. Brian, would you agree that engaging with kids in their teen years makes sense?
Oh, absolutely. That's how I got into manufacturing. In high school, I had a teacher who was teaching electronics and some shop classes, and he saw that I had a great interest. And he basically took me under his wing and opened my eyes to the world of manufacturing. He helped me secure my first summer job in manufacturing while I was still in high school. So I know from personal experience that this works, getting a hold of kids when they're in their teen years, and being able to bring them into an environment where they can see the value that comes from having a degree in a manufacturing field and being able to support manufacturing for the marketplace.
That seems important, recognizing kids who are interested in STEM and hands-on learning. Stefan?
So I couldn't agree more. So in terms of recognizing kids who have that interest or that proclivity, it's important for them to get involved in programs such as manufacturing summer camps, like what PMMI has done with NBT, the Nuts and Bolts and Thingamajigs Foundation. It's a great opportunity for young kids, ages 12 to 16, to attend a manufacturing camp, which is project-based learning, essentially. They actually get to make something and take it home with them when it's all said and done. And it also includes plant tours. This is something that's really a good experience for them to see really what this world is all about in terms of manufacturing. And lastly, one of the things that we try to do with students who are interested in STEM and robotics, we try to encourage them to come to Pack Expo. It's a great opportunity for them to either participate in a robotic showcase and kind of get a chance to see the industry. But this year we're actually adding an additional competition for high school students called Pack Challenge, and basically it includes cash prizes, but it's a competition to build an actual line, or at least a section of a packaging line. So it goes beyond just the STEM portion. It actually brings them in a little bit more to what our industry is and gives them a little bit of a feel for it. And we're expecting those students who participate to attend, as well as their classmates, to support them. So we think it's going to be a great new event.
It's fantastic. Brian, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think that the opportunity for them to get their hands on some real equipment and to build a representative machine, at least, for packaging is going to really open their eyes as to the nuances of this industry and how much there is that they can do. That this is not the manufacturing that their parents knew, but it's something completely new and completely high-tech.
That's a great point, Brian, about changing perceptions. Stefan, what are other ways manufacturers can go about doing that?
So I think there's a few things that they can do. One thing that they can all participate in is Manufacturing Day. It always takes place in October, the first, I believe it's the first Friday of every October. And it's a great opportunity to open your doors, to students, high school students in your area. Let them become aware of what goes on in your building, your industry, what your company does. And then that way they get a chance to see whether this is something they might be interested in. So that's one opportunity. Another thing that's important is to, beyond just students, it's to get the parents buy-in, because as Brian mentioned, there's a lot of misconceptions about manufacturing. And so just like we're showing the kids that this is high tech and it's different, the parents need to see that too. So we're trying to change those perceptions as well. And included in that is also kind of showing what kind of future these individuals, these kids may have, and for those parents to realize that these are good paying jobs. This is not again, manufacturing the way they might have perceived it 30, 40, 50 years ago or whatever it was. These are high tech jobs, they're clean jobs, so that's really important. And then lastly, I think it's really important to reach out to those schools and talk to the guidance counselors and basically build these types of relationships so that those guidance counselors are aware of these types of opportunities, so they can present them to students so that they at least are aware of them before trying to make any kind of decision.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the more important things that they can do, is being able to reach out and let the guidance counselors know that there are resources available locally for the school, whether that's donating equipment or bringing kids in for tours or having a manufacturing evening at a local community college where they expose them to, these are the types of things that are done locally within manufacturing.
Yes, you mentioned guidance counselors, community colleges. What should manufacturing companies be doing to engage with these folks who can reach students?
Again, I think it comes down to awareness, making sure that the schools and the guidance counselors and the parents even know that these industries are local, that they're right here. We have a lot of manufacturing within the U.S., and oftentimes the local populace doesn't even realize that they're there. They're smaller manufacturing firms, but they're doing really high-tech, really cool things that support the U.S. economy. And it's something that whether you're a machine builder or an end-user manufacturer, you should be reaching out and letting the community know that we're here and we've got some really cool stuff that we can support.
Anything to add, Stefan?
Yeah, I think it's important, to Brian's point, to reach out to the local community. Oftentimes kids will be aware of different types of career opportunities. They'll understand what a police officer is, a doctor, a lawyer, a firefighter. They'll understand what those careers are, but they don't know what an engineer looks like or what those individuals do. So it's really important for the local business community to reach out to those schools in their area, the high schools, the community colleges, the universities, and really raise awareness within those institutions and try to build those types of relationships so they can help build their own pipeline in their own area. Another thing they can do is sponsor robotics or STEM related teams. A lot of these groups rely on donations in order to kind of develop the robots or whatever technology they're working on. And this is a great way to introduce a company to those students. It's a great way to do that. And then lastly, I'll mention it again, summer camps. The manufacturing summer camps are a great way for students to learn a little bit about the industry. They get to see it for themselves. They actually get to build something and then take it home with them. So this is an opportunity that stays with them. And an experience, I should say, that stays with them. And then from then on, at least they're aware of it and they can possibly make the choice to go into manufacturing. So.
Great. Stefan, Brian, thanks again for sharing your insights on generating interest in manufacturing careers. If you're interested in learning more about these initiatives that Stefan and Brian were discussing, please visit PMMI.org. And for more information on the PAC Challenge that Stefan mentioned, happening at PAC Expo International on October 23rd through 26th, visit pacexpointernational.com. Thanks for joining us.